The newsday continues here on One News Now Business. I'm Diego Castro. Here are the biggest stories on the economic and corporate fronts. Travelers may expect lower airfares next month. The Civil Aeronautics Board said it will downgrade the fuel surcharge level from level 6 to 5 in May. This means passengers will be charged 151 to 542 pesos in fuel surcharges for domestic flights. For international flights, the surcharge ranges from 498 to 3,703 pesos depending on the distance. CAB explained that the deduction in surcharges is due to lower prices of fuel in the global market.
Hopefully the trend will continue and that will spur the further recovery of the aviation industry in the Philippines. Imagine from level 12, 11, 10, nasa 5 na tayo sa May 1. So that's very significant. And we hope that it will spur and entice more and more travelers.
The United States is not keen on a free trade agreement with the Philippines or any of its trading partners. Business World reports that the U.S. doesn't see traditional FTAs being appropriate for the challenges that the U.S. is facing. The U.S. trade chief noted that traditional FTA has been the cause of vulnerabilities experienced by supply chains. The Trade Department has long been pushing for a bilateral FTA between the Philippines and Washington. However, the U.S. says it is more focused on the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity. President Bongbong Marcos led the launching of another Kadiwa store, this time in San Jose, Bulacan. In his speech, the President says the Kadiwa ng Pangulo project aims to provide accessible and affordable food commodities for Filipinos. This amid rising prices of goods and the effects of global inflation. The President also says the Kadiwa stores open up recovery opportunities for small businesses who have been hit hardest by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yang ang grupo sa ating ekonomiya na talagang pinahirapan ng COVID. At talagang marami sa kanila, naubos ang kanilang savings, napilitan silang magsara. Kaya't binibigyan natin ng pagkakataon ang ating mga MSMEs, binibigyan natin sila ng isang lugar, isang palengke, isang merkado, kung saan sila makapunta para naman maibenta nila ang kanilang mga produkto.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Farmers are calling on the National Food Authority to raise its procurement price for palay. Kilusan Magbubukid ng Pilipinas Chairperson Rafael Mariano told Business World that palay should be priced at 20 pesos per kilo. Mariano added that the NFA should receive enough funding to procure 20 to 25% of the domestic harvest of rice. With that, he said the agency can generate volumes equivalent to the proposed imports for the country's rice buffer stock. The NFA planned to import 330 metric tons of rice, but was later on scrapped due to conflict with the rice tariffication law. The Agriculture Department aims to achieve rice self-sufficiency in the country by the year 2027. The DA says it plans to achieve rice self-sufficiency through the Masagana Rice Program 2023 to 2028. According to the agency, its target is to rid the country of any need to import rice to meet demand, a year before the end of President Bongbong Marcos's term. The DA says the program aims to stabilize the country's rice supply up to 26.86 million metric tons, as well as lower rice inflation to less than 1% annually. It also aims to increase farmers' income by over 50% and ensure rice availability at all times by maintaining the National Food Authority's buffer stock. In relation to that, the NFA has earlier scrapped proposals to import 300,000 metric tons of rice for its buffer stock. This as the rice tariffication mandates the NFA to source its emergency buffer stock from local farmers. The DA says it is now studying where the NFA should source its buffer stock and the most ideal season to buy rice.
We are now trying to find out how NFA could really, buy its buffer stocks, at a price level na hindi siya masyadong makikipag-compete sa mga traders. It's really more of timing and where to buy.
Agriculture experts are split on whether the Philippines can achieve self-sufficiency in rice production. Federation of Free Farmers National Manager Raul Montemayor told the chiefs that this is doable. He said the government needs to provide more support to farmers and should not allow cheap imports to come in.
Kayang-kaya. Because our deficit is only about 10 to 15%. It's about maybe 2 million, 3 million tons. No? You just need to increase the present yield from about 4 to a little over 5, a little below 5. No? Doable yan with irrigation, with support to farmers.
But for former Agriculture Undersecretary Fermin Adriano, the Philippines won't be 100% self-sufficient. He cited several challenges, such as the growing population, while natural resources remain limited.
How can you be able to make yourself 100% sufficient when we're defying the laws of nature? Kasi ang bilis ng pagdami ng tao, ang bilis ng paglago ng demand, pero yung perang nilalagay natin, yung lupa na natin o tubig na naroon, napakabagal naman ng paglawak, pagdevelop.
Apple CEO Tim Cook led the opening of the tech giant's first physical retail store in India. Bloomberg's Menaka Doshi reports from outside the store in Mumbai on why this marks a significant step in the India-Apple relationship.
First in Mumbai and then in Delhi, customers are lining up as Apple opens its first 2 stores in India. They may not be as unique as the Cube in New York, but they have all the features that Apple stores do worldwide. Today in Apple Store trade-ins, and the customary sight of CEO Tim Cook at the front door on the first day, welcoming the first few customers. Now, between meeting Prime Minister Modi, hobnobbing with business leaders here in Mumbai and then in Delhi, and eating Mumbai Vada Pav with film stars, Tim Cook's visit to India and these store openings mark a significant next step in the India-Apple relationship. India presents a critical supply chain diversification opportunity for Apple. China manufactures more than 90% of iPhones to AirPods. Tim Cook says Apple is taking all that it learned in China, how to scale China, and bringing that to bear here in India. Compared to its neighbor, India is a tiny market for Apple. with just about $6 billion in annual sales last year. But that's about 50% more than the year before. Local manufacture will allow Apple to reduce some of the import taxes that it pays and make its products less expensive for Indian consumers. Two of Apple's 3 contract manufacturers here in the country are major beneficiaries of a flagship production incentive scheme launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. India too is hoping that Apple can pull a China here, help build a manufacturing ecosystem that boosts jobs and exports. Menika Doshi, Bloomberg News.
And those are the top business stories of the hour. I'm Diego Castro. Join us again at 2 p.m. We are One News. All sides, all the time.